Hi, welcome back to the video for the 3-7 to 3-9 practice worksheet. And we're just working through some problems to make sure anybody who's stuck at home or sick has the opportunity to catch up. Let's look at G under problem 3-91. It asks us to solve for W. We have A is equal to 2 times the quantity of L plus W. So if we're trying to solve for W, this is what we're trying to get by itself. And again, right now it's trapped inside parentheses, so we're going to need to use the distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. So we have A is equal to 2 times L, and then we have plus 2 times W. In order to solve for W, though, right, we need to get rid of the things that are not attached to it first. So we're going to have to get rid of that 2L by subtracting it from each side. We're now looking at the area minus 2 times L, or A minus 2 times L, is going to equal 2W. And since we want just W, we are going to do the inverse operation. We're going to do division. And we're now looking at A divided by 2 minus 2L divided by 2 is just going to leave us with just an L. And then our 2's should cancel on the other side. So we've got A divided by 2 minus L is going to equal W. And there are some variations to the way that one could be written too. You may not have it written exactly the same, but it should simplify to give us about the same thing. All right, so that was problem G. Let's move on to H. Solve for X. So in this one, we're trying to get X by itself. First thing to notice, right, we have a denominator. We have a 3 in the bottom. So we need to get rid of that denominator. We're going to take this and multiply it by 3. If we do that, we need to do it to the right side too. 3 times the quantity of x plus y divided by 3 is going to just basically undo the 3's. So we have x plus y is going to equal 3 times 5 is 15. And then our last step, to get x by itself, we're just going to go ahead and subtract y from each side. We now have x is going to equal 15 minus y. And that's it, right? Because we got x by itself. All right, last two, we have I and J. Let's start with I. I says solve for B. X equals y over 3b. So if we're trying to solve for b and it's in the denominator, we got to find a way to get it out. So we're going to multiply that by a 3b. And if we do that, we're also going to multiply the left side to keep it balanced. Now this 3 and this 3 will cancel. This b and this b will cancel. So what we're looking at right now is 3 times b times x is going to equal y. And if we pay close attention, we've got b that we're trying to get by itself. It's being multiplied by 3 and x. So we can think of this as a 3x times our b. So if we wanted to get rid of that, we could always just divide it by a 3 and an x. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to divide this by a 3 and an x, which would cancel those out, leaving us with just b. And then we're going to have on the other side, right, divided by our 3x. And since there's nothing that will really cancel, we have y is equal to 3 over x. So that is what our b is. b equals y divided by 3x. I might have said that wrong a second ago, and I apologize if I did, but b equals y divided by 3x. All right, and then we got the last one for this part of the video, and then we'll work on the equations on the back. It says solve for w. So we're trying to get w by itself. And again, we need to get rid of that denominator. So if this entire side of the equation is being divided by 2, we're going to multiply that equation by 2. What's that do? Well, we have 2 times r is going to equal, And I could take this and distribute this through if I wanted to, but then I'm going to just divide by 2. So these are just going to cancel each other out, and we really have 1 plus 3w left. Okay, we're getting closer to getting w by itself. So let's get rid of what's not attached to w first. We have 2r minus 1 is going to equal 3w. And then we want just 1w, so we'll divide everything by 3. So we've got w is equal to 2 times r minus 1, all divided by 3. And that is our answer. If you have additional questions on some of these, please make sure you reach out. And there may be some other variations on some of these answers that I don't have written down, so please ask about those too if you think you may have gotten it right. For instance, this one could also be 2/3 r, or 2r divided by 3, minus 1 over 3, and I would still consider that to be correct as well. All right, so any other questions, please make sure you reach out or go to Math Help